In 2025, one city surged to the top, and another plunged from number one. You won't believe who's on both ends. Let's dive in. I'm Jessica, and today we're counting down the top 10 most livable cities based on the latest 2025 survey. We'll reveal who climbed the fastest, who fell the hardest, and what it means for you. This year's rankings weren't just about beauty or convenience. They reflected deeper shifts: resilience against climate threats, affordability amid soaring global prices, and how cities handled the aftermath of a pandemic that changed everything. Let's start at number 10, and trust me, the surprises begin right away. And the impact? Well, it's pretty clear. Cleaner air, quieter neighborhoods, and public spaces that actually feel public. One Montevideo resident, a teacher named Lucia, said, "For the first time in my life, I feel like the city is made for me, not for cars." But what really pushed Montevideo into the top 10 was how it tackled its housing crisis. Rather than letting foreign investors snap up city center properties, as happened in many other world capitals, Montevideo's leaders put strict limits on speculative buying. They offered incentives for affordable housing development and protections for long-term renters. At number 7, Dubai makes a return, and not without sparking debate. This glittering desert city scored high for infrastructure, safety, and business friendliness. But critics argue that personal freedoms and worker rights remain sore spots that don't match its glossy image. Dubai's rise in the rankings this year comes off the back of massive investment in sustainability. From the world's largest solar park to ambitious urban cooling projects designed to beat the desert heat. Residents rave about how efficient life feels: fast public transport, near-zero crime, and unmatched luxury. But here's where the controversy brews. Some say Dubai's livability rating overlooks the challenges faced by lower-wage migrant workers. And wait till you hear about the policy change that could reshape its future rankings. Number 6 goes to Helsinki, a city that quietly keeps setting the standard for climate resilience. While it didn't move much on the list, it made global headlines for one bold move this year, announcing it will be carbon neutral by 2030, 5 years ahead of schedule. Helsinki's secret? A citywide push for circular economy practices, meaning almost everything from buildings to bikes gets reused, repurposed, or fully recycled. Add to that some of the cleanest air in the world and universal access to high-quality healthcare, and you get a city that feels like it's future-proofed. And their latest energy project? It's a game-changer that other cities are already trying to copy. But Helsinki's resilience didn't come easy. Number 5 is Vienna, a city that's held the number 1 spot more times than we can count. So what happened? Vienna's still a gem: world-class public transport, rich cultural life, and that unique balance of history and modernity. But in 2025, 2 big factors cost it the crown. First, rising housing costs pushed livability down a notch, with more locals struggling to afford the very city they've called home for generations. Second, climate pressures. Record summer heat waves tested the city's famed comfort and infrastructure. And the challenge isn't over. But Vienna isn't backing down, and their new heat resilience plan might just bring them back on top. At number 4, Sydney continues to shine. From its stunning harbor to its unrivaled access to beaches and parks, Sydney remains one of the most desirable places to live on the planet. It scores high across the board: healthcare, education, safety, and cultural vibrancy. And after 2 years of post-pandemic struggles, Sydney seems to have found its groove again. But here's where the tension lies. The housing market is heating up fast, with affordability slipping out of reach for many middle-income families. And there's growing anxiety over how the city will balance growth with livability. But what happened next would shock everyone: a bold new housing policy that might rewrite the city's future. Sliding into number 3 is Fukuoka, a city few expected to climb this high. But in 2025, this mid-sized Japanese hub is making waves for all the right reasons. Fukuoka's rise is powered by smart city tech that's redefined urban living. From AI-managed traffic systems that slash commute times to hyper-efficient public services, life here just works. But it's not just about tech. Fukuoka's disaster readiness, earthquake-proof infrastructure, rapid emergency response systems, gives residents a deep sense of security. And their latest green policy? A city-wide switch to hydrogen buses that's already cutting emissions faster than any other major Asian city. But Fukuoka's real secret might be what it's planning next. At number 2, Copenhagen, last year's most livable city, slips, but just barely. Copenhagen remains a model for urban happiness, bike-friendly streets, cutting-edge green tech, and a social safety net that few countries can match. So why the drop? In 2025, minor but growing challenges emerged. Housing costs in the city center rose as demand outpaced supply, and some residents voiced concern over increasing congestion in what was once a car-free dream. Still, Copenhagen's strengths far outweigh its stumbles, and its plan to become the world's first carbon-neutral capital by 2027 is still very much on track. But wait till you see who leapfrogged Copenhagen to claim the top spot. And number 1 is Auckland. That's right, Auckland has roared back to the top, surprising even seasoned urban analysts. What set Auckland apart this year? It wasn't just its natural beauty, though the city's mix of urban life and stunning landscapes is unbeatable. Auckland's big win came from affordability reforms that actually worked. A mix of housing initiatives brought costs down, while major upgrades to public transport cut commute times across the region. Add to that its climate resilience, from flood defenses to wildfire management, and Auckland became the city everyone suddenly wanted to call home in 2025. Imagine waking up to ocean views, clean air, and a city that feels designed for people first. Notice something? 7 of the top 10 are in Australasia or Europe, regions that combine smart pandemic recovery with serious climate action. Livability in 2025 isn't just about comfort. It's about how cities adapt to the pressures of a changing world, from pandemics to climate shocks to economic turbulence. The cities that rose this year? They're the ones that planned ahead. So which of these would you move to? Drop your pick in the comments. I'd love to see where you'd call home. If you learned something today, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Every week, we explore how our world is changing, one city at a time.